Yay! Okay, hello everyone. This is a special edition of Women in Sales Influence live Facebook interview. I am Meshell Baker, your host. I am the Director of Global Sales Development for the National Association of Sales Professionals, who is our sponsor. I'm also an award-winning international keynote speaker, a sales success strategist, and an expert confidence coach. And today I have with me another fabulous woman who is from Australia. So it's nighttime, mate, where she is, right? So as I tell people, one of my nemesis in life is time zones. So when we misconfigure this, it's all on me, right? I take the hit for this because I constantly am challenged with time zones. And I said, no matter what, that's why I love doing the live, because no matter what, we were going to get this up. She's incredible. I met her when I was in London, and I wanted to share with you all some of her amazing tips. So she has 5 simple strategies or 5 simple ways to achieve your life's dreams, which is right. Perfect timing as we're in December and we're getting ready to go in January for 2020 vision. This is good stuff. So Gwenda Smith, welcome to the live Women of Sales and Influence. And as the rule goes, as I mentioned, as you've seen with the other interviews, women of sales and influence, fabulous women like ourselves. Yes, I had to say that, right? We know how to introduce ourselves. So we model. One of the things that we love to do on the show is model. How does a woman who has confidence in who she is, right? How does she introduce herself when she's asked to introduce? So please tell us what makes you amazing and brings you to today's interview.
Meshell, thank you very much. What makes me amazing is just the fact that I'm me and I don't need to be anybody else. That's what makes me amazing. Hi to everyone, no matter what end of the day it is for you. It's the end of my day for me. And I am just delighted to be here. I was so thrilled to meet you at London at the conference, and to be able to talk with other women who are women of influence, who are leaders in what they do and what they stand for. So we introduce ourselves from a place of power and courage while also having kindness and consideration.
Yes, actually, I love that, kindness and consideration. So let's tell me a little bit about your background before we jump into the 5 simple steps. Let's talk about your background. What brought you to where you are, to where you're doing this holistic healing and coaching and helping people to achieve their life's dreams and have more peace and alignment, right, in their lives? Oh, and I just want to say, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm actually checking the live feed on Facebook. I'm doing double duty, so.
So you're multitasking.
Yes.
Marvelous woman. So Meshell used one of my favorite words, alignment. And that was something that I spoke about in London, was being living a life that's balanced through alignment. And it's a real passion of mine. But how did I get to be here? I actually began my life's path in health as a nurse, and only as a very young woman of 16, well, really a teenager, right? So I began then. And Meshell, I noticed that if we had a ward with 4 people in it, be it men, be it women, but they all had the same condition, the same perhaps illness, or whatever the same was, all 4 of them, I noticed that their recovery for each one was different. And yet their medication would be the same, their treatment would be the same, but their movement, their shift with their condition, and I'm going to call it a condition and I'll tell you all why in a moment, was different. And I found that fascinating. I was really interested in why that was. So I wanted to understand more about this. So then I decided that I wanted to understand the human body even more. So I became a senior scrub nurse in the theatres. And it was actually a situation in the theatre that I say, I give blessings to the lady whenever I speak, because I believe that she sent me on this trajectory that I've been on now for 35 years. So We opened this lady to remove a abdominal tumor, and we didn't even get down to the abdominal organs. We got only to what's called the augmentum, or omentum, some people call it. And it's a beautiful shield that protects your inner organs, right?
Mm.
And normally it's really pretty. It's most people go, ugh, when I say something's really pretty on the inside. um, but it's really, normally it's a beautiful soft pink, and my job was to move it out of the way so we could see the organs. But when we got to this lady's, it was all grey and lumpy, and I hadn't seen one like that before. By this time, I might tell you, I was in my early 20s, so still only a young woman. And the surgeon said, suture up. We hadn't done anything. And he saw the expression on my eyes, and he said, well, nurse, you're looking at the same thing as me. This lady has 14 days to live. And my
Wow.
head just spun off my shoulders. Wow, where did he get that from? And why? Why was it 14 days? Why wasn't it 17? Why wasn't it 30? Why was it 14? I'm like, where did he get that from? Because we hadn't gone in and seen anything in there. And then he went on to say that when she was awake enough to speak to, I was to accompany him to give her the news. And that's not something that the scrub nurse is to do. And even to this day, the scrub nurse doesn't go to the ward to deliver such news. It's the ward nurse that goes with the surgeon. So I went with him, and he asked me to hold her hand while he delivered the news. Um, and I'll never forget this lady. It was a life-changing experience for me, and certainly for her. She was not conscious like you and I are. She was under the fog of anesthesia. And he put his hand on her heart, and she instinctively knew something was wrong. And he said it was okay, that she could just rest there, but that when she was wide awake, she was to go home, have her husband collect her and go home. And she was confused then, because as far as she knew, she'd had serious surgery. So why was she going home? And he said, and in 8 days, I want you back in hospital, because in 8 days you will be very unwell. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, there's another time frame. There's another number of days. And then he said to her, enjoy your 8 days at home. You have 14 days to live. And we walked away and left her in tears. And then on the 8th day, I actually admitted her to the ward, because if the theatre was closed, we got sent out to the wards. And because I was senior scrub, I got sent to the surgical floor. And I admitted her. She didn't recognise me, but I knew who she was. And just as he said, she was very, very ill. Well, Meshell, on the 14th day, I laid that lady out, meaning that she'd passed, and I prepared her for going to the funeral home. So that changed my acceptance of illness and of disease. And I went on a quest for life to find out more about illness, more about disease, more about the human being, and about life. So I studied all sorts of things, and I have looked into many things. I have great faith and great trust and belief. My clients that know me really well know that I have unwavering belief and trust in God, and I work a lot in that light. So I have learned a great deal about illness and sickness. I don't accept it. I know that it doesn't have to be. And I've dedicated my life now to holistic living and the ways of knowing how to live your best life every day. And it's what I love to do.
Well, that's an absolute incredible story. And thank you for sharing that. And so, if you could, just succinctly say, like, what it is that you learned. So, you said that you went on this journey and you basically experienced watching someone being told that they were going to die and then dying because that's what
Mm,
they're being told. So the outcome is if I tell you you're going to live, you'll live, right?
mm.
So how have you been able to leverage what you've learned and turn it into what you do?
Well, I went and studied traditional Chinese medicine. I looked into Buddhism practices. I went into physical fitness, nutrition, everything that kind of makes the components of what we are, how we think, how our thinking affects us. And like you say, you've been told you're going to die, so you do. We have here, our Indigenous people are known for pointing the bone. So if in their mobs, the medicine man points the bone at someone, they're done, they're history, because they believe that. As
Hmm.
far as they're concerned, that's what's going to happen. So I accumulated all this learned knowledge. And then, Meshell, something I didn't say at the beginning, I have a very unique ability and I can actually see into people. So I can see disease, I can see disturbance and illness, and I
Okay.
can also find where it's come from. So put that together with my acquired and learned knowledge, and it brings me to be able to help people understand what's going on in their life and how they can change it.
Oh, well, that's absolutely amazing. And I love that you said you had this unique ability because that's what makes everyone so incredible at what they do and how they touch other people is stepping into their uniqueness. So, with to keeping our time in mind, I wanted to go ahead and jump into the 5 simple um, steps. So these are like yay, because I love this. December is a powerful month. Not like every month is, but it's so many people get into the new our mindset and the way we are and human and with the calendar and the time because time is limited, right? It's our most precious commodity. So thinking ahead is powerful, and I love December as a great month to set ourselves up for success so that we don't wait until the year to start trying to catch up. And so let's talk about those 5 simple ways.
Thank you. I'm really excited to present them because you're quite right. And I had a lovely program for people to finish the year with a big bang. So they go into the new year with a massive energy and a whole new approach so they can really start on a good footing. But what I find, Meshell, and this is tip number 1, everyone, don't take today into tomorrow. Finish the day.
Mm,
Finish the day, close it off with, I use the word prayer, but close it off with an intention, a thought, and give thanks for what has been in the day. So when a new day starts, you really do start a new day. And you start your new day through doing a bit of body mapping. So you check in with your body, and then you have a bit of soul direction. So connecting to your true self, connecting to your soul, and see where it takes you and where it wants to take you for the day. So that's tip number 1.
I'm
Tip
I'm
number
actually
2.
posting on social media your tips, so that's why I'm looking down because I'm like, these are so good. Yes, I love that
Thank you.
because all we ever have is
Um,
now, right? So taking
yeah,
yesterday into because that's basically what we're doing. We be dragging yesterday
yeah,
into today, right?
exactly.
So this
And
is
it
awesome.
messes you up. It messes
That
you up, and it drains you of your energy. It stops you from being able to be clear and concise with what you want to do because you're all caught up with what you didn't do yesterday or who did what, and oh dear, just a mess. And then tip number 2 is to nurture your body and nourish your soul. So you
ooh,
nurture your body through really good food, which means it should be living food, not dead food. Your breath. The breath is the most powerful thing you have, which also enhances your blood, which therefore helps your heart and your brain. Water. And so many people say, "Can I have my coffee?" No, your coffee is not water. When I say water, you have water, and it should be filtered and it should also have all the minerals in it. If it doesn't have the minerals that your body needs, add some salt. proper salt, by the way. And then movement and laughter. So that's how you nurture your body. Now we're going to nourish your soul. Nourish your soul through kindness to yourself. So use kind words to yourself, compassionate words, and patience. And also nourish your soul by giving yourself some time out from the noise that goes on in the brain. Right, so that's tip number 2. And then tip number 3 is focus on solutions, not on the problem. So often we find ourselves saying the same thing over and over. I can't do this. This won't work. I don't know what I'm going to do about this problem. The tax office want this from me. I can't do it. Instead of re-saying or replaying the problem, turn it around and ask yourself, what can I do? How can I work with this? What do I need to do? So you focus on a solution, not on the problem, and you'll find all of a sudden you've got a solution. I've got to tell you, ladies, it's the most incredible thing when you hand yourself over to your soul and let it do the driving. You don't have problems anymore.
Nope.
You have solutions to issues.
Yep.
Tip number 4 is to be organized and yet flexible. So make sure that you're organized to things that are going to get you to your dream. Don't waste time. As we were saying before, time's a very special commodity, and it's the one thing we can never have back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Yep. So be organized for the things that are going to be very positive, very uplifting, very kind, and that are going to get you to where you want to be, but at the same time, be flexible. So if Meshell rings you and says, let's go out for coffee and have a great chat, you be flexible and go, hell yeah, I'll be there. That's awesome.
I just wanted to jump on this one because I'm listening and I know we have 5. But I have to say, one of the greatest gifts that I've been given from one of my mentors, Rod Harrison, he actually is the CEO of the National Association of Sales Professionals, our sponsor, is that to understand and learn how to be adaptable and flexible no matter what. And that's not an easy thing to do. I really tell people that before I knew it, it was like wax on, wax off. Before I knew it, people ask me, what are you doing? I don't know. What are you going to say? I don't know, right? But it's going to be awesome, right? Because I'm here. I'm trained. Like, I'm trained for whatever happens. Right? I was like, oh my God. He Mr. Miyagi me, right? But I love it because that was like, he was a mentor that I had actually written out that I wanted. And it's been a beautiful gift to work alongside this man. And I say, I love the flexibility because that is, we are taught to be inflexible, right? Yep. I saw a post on LinkedIn yesterday by Melinda Gates that talked about one of the worst things you could say as a leader is that's not the way we do it here. That's not the way we've done it before. Right. And it's so inflexible, right? And what you're saying is so powerful. If you could just pick that trait alone would change your world immediately. Yep. Just
be flexible.
Be flexible. Yep. So yes, continue. It's one of my favorite terms.
Well, I've saved the best till last, as they say. Well, this is how I feel about this one. So tip number 5 is the best till last, and it is own who you are right now. Don't be fretting about who you're not, who you think you should be. Own who you are right now in this moment. And be really in your own power of who you are presently. Know your strengths, accept your weaknesses, and own you. And that's my 5th tip.
Oh my God, it's so wonderful. And I love that. That's so what I hear and I see, and this is what I love about the work. And when you start getting that space of understanding that there's no right way, it's just your way, and different doesn't make it bad. So what you just said is own who you are. What I heard was be grateful for everything. Right? That's
As well.
literally so what I heard. And I love that because we are all basically saying the same thing or attempting to actually get to the same destination. It's
Yep.
just that we're different in that willingness to be flexible, which means that I hear what you say and I ask you questions if I'm not clear, right? And then own who I am, meaning that I'm good enough just as I am. So I'm not going to try to compare myself to you and make you
That's
wrong
right.
or make myself right.
Mhm. And own who you are right now. Don't be fretting about what you should be doing, what I must be doing in 10 minutes, in half an hour, because you're not present then. So you can't be really in yourself and you can't be in your power if you're out there somewhere. So
Exactly.
be with
Exact.
yourself and yes, and be very grateful for everything that is you.
Yes. So, well, Gwenda, I'm going to say, we'll wrap this up, but I want to say thank you for those 5 tips. They're actually, I posted them in the chat. If someone wanted to get in touch with you to have some holistic whole body healing, because you're like mind, body, and soul, right? You're taking
Yep.
all those components and getting them aligned, right? So that and I love about that is you create momentum and people, take momentum for granted. Most life is spent by majority of the population is starting and stopping, right? When you get in
Yeah,
alignment, you get momentum and it changes the trajectory of your success. It changes your
absolutely.
abilities and what you're able to do and create, or who you're able to be, most importantly. And then it allows you to do and create things that you didn't even conceive you could do when you're in
That's
that
right.
wholeness of alignment. So how
Yeah.
would someone get in touch with you?
They can email me, Meshell, Gwenda at healwithgwenda.com. They can message me on Facebook, and that's Heal with Gwenda.
I'm just
And they're
typing
probably
it in.
the easiest way. So Gwenda at healwithgwenda.com is the email. And the Facebook page is Heal with Gwenda.
Man,
So you can message me on there and have a chat and see what I can help them with or how they might need to redirect themselves. Sometimes you can feel like you're on a roundabout. Other times you can feel like you're on a Mighty Mouse ride at the show. Neither of them are going to get you to where you want to be.
Exactly. So, well, thank you for the 5 tips. Thank you for your flexibility in doing this on a Tuesday morning. I do appreciate you. Stay where you are. We're going to wrap up. And so I'm going to just close out. So stay where you are. Everyone, this has been Gwenda Smith from beautiful Australia down under with her 5 tips to achieve success. You really want to watch this replay, read the information, contact Gwenda. If you're feeling a prompting, trust it. It's not an accident, right? And this is sponsored by the National Association of Sales Professionals. And one of the things that the association offers is a seller style assessment. So what we talk about is when you're in alignment with who you are as a professional, as a business owner, you're able to speak more clearly about what you do and how you serve. And that means you're able to convert more conversations to clients. That's why I bring a variety of guests like Gwenda on here to help people to get aligned internally before they start externally trying to get money and clients, right? Because you do it with ease and grace when you're in alignment. So having said that, one of the tools that help you to see where you are and how you want to sell is to take the seller style assessment. And it really speaks to your behaviors and how you are responding in the midst of a sales conversation and what would help you to move into converting more of those conversations to clients. So it can be found at www.nasp/join. You must become a member first. So just need your name and email address, and then you have access to take the assessment and get a feed out and you have a PDF downloadable. So this has been Meshell Baker. I will see you guys next week, and know that the last 2 weeks of the year I'm off. So we'll have one guest next week. She's fabulous. And then I'll see you guys again Monday, January 6th. So have a great holiday season. See you all next week. Thank you, Gwenda. Stay where you are. Bye, everybody. And I will
Thank
see
you,
you next
Meshell.
time.
Bye, everyone.